today's a different walk today because we've come up by car to the Parador, right in the centre of the Teide National Park, to climb Pico Viejo. Teide is over there, and just to the left is the mountain that we're climbing, Pico Viejo. This just tells you how popular this particular location is on Tenerife. Absolutely gridlocked today. This first section past the Rocas de Garcia is the easy section. As you can see, loads of people here with their flip-flops and all sorts of different footwear on, different types of gear, but you only need to get a couple of 100 meters and the tourists sort of fade away, and you end up with the walk pretty much to yourself. I'm already puffing a bit in the thinner air, but we've reached the point where the Rocas de Garcia circular goes to the left and we head up to the right to Pico Viejo. Just stop for a breather here, and you can, looking back at the Parador, the Rocas de Garcia in the foreground, and behind the Parador is Guajara, which I think is the highest point on the crater rim on the south side, in fact on any side. That's the old crater rim, not counting Teide, of course. So good views looking back, but we've still got a long way to go forwards up Pico Viejo. Although it's called Pico Viejo, which means old, I believe that the mountain itself, the volcano, is only about 30,000 years old. So in geological terms, it's certainly not old, it's really a baby. There's probably less talk on this walk than on my other walks, which is probably because it's at a higher altitude and there's more panting for breath going on. Anyway, little downhill stretch, and then the path takes us over one of the great flows of lava from the Pico Viejo eruption. These huge lumps of rock have a common name of eggs. I forget what their geological name is, but basically they form when the lava flow is going really slowly and the end simply breaks off and starts trundling down on its own. So they get ahead of the main lava flow. Sometimes the lava flow never catches them up, so they sit in isolation in the landscape as eggs. Just here we have, I think, the biggest egg that I've seen in the national park. This really is a whopper. Can't give you an idea of scale really, except to say that I'd probably come quarter way up its side, something like that. So it really is a monster. We've just stopped for another breather. It's always much lovelier looking down rather than up. We are, according to my altimeter, at 986 metres. So we're just below the 3,000 metre barrier, and we have a superb view of the entire crater, well, not the entire crater rim, but the southern part of it, or what would it be, the western part of it. Down behind there is Villa Flor, Playa de las Americas, Los Cristianos, and all of the beaches of the south. As we come around That's Guajara, high point on the ridge, and then it goes away towards the observatory and Corral del Nino. There is a lovely ridge walk all along there, but again it's one of these walks that you can't do with the bus. You don't have enough time between the single bus up and the single bus down again. So you really need a kind soul with a car who's going to collect you, drop you off at one end and collect you at the other, and have an awful long wait while you do the ridge walk. So in the meantime, we can see the summit of Pico Viejo. It's just a small matter of getting up there, and at this sort of altitude I don't think altitude sickness comes into it necessarily, but certainly the air's thin, so it's a bit harder going, so we better get going. So here we are, the summit of Pico Viejo, and what a crater! Some lunar landscape down there. Looks like there is a way down, but I'm not sure we'll take it, because the object was really just to get to the summit. There's Teide. I hope you can hear me with all this wind going on. It's pretty cold as well, this breeze, but there we go, a crater of a volcano just 30,000 years old. So we'll just come back and basically have a look the way we came. We can see the crater rim of the old crater, the supervolcano, and the slopes of Teide, with, I guess, fairly recent lava flows on, certainly within recorded history. And I can see, I doubt you can on the wide angle view, but I can see cars on the road to the Parador, smaller than ants. The way down is quite a bit easier than the way up, and we're also facing away from the wind, which is a double blessing really. It's kind of blowing us down rather than stopping us going up, and all the while we've got these fantastic views of the Cañadas crater, Guajara, just coming into view at the edge here, and hopefully we'll be it won't take us too long to get down, maybe an hour and a half, something like that. We'll see. We're well into our descent back to the Parador now. We can see the rocks de Garcia in quite deep shadow now. It's nearly 5:15, so the sun is setting. We've got a bit of a steep bit to negotiate, and the Parador, where the car is parked, is just beyond the rocks. So we're doing well, we're on schedule. We'll be down well before it gets dark, which is the main thing, and looking forward to a good drive back to Puerto de la Cruz, and then a shower, a beer and an evening meal. We're very nearly back at the Rocas de Garcia now, just over on the right there, looking lovely in the evening sunlight. Once we reach them, then it's a short stroll from there down the path that the tourists take to view the rocks, back to the Parador and the car park, and then the drive home. So I hope you've enjoyed this walk in the caldera of Las Cañadas, right high up in the volcanic roof of Teide and Tenerife, and we'll see you on the next walk.